The question being asked is, should a human being strive for happiness? Well, already there's something strange in the question because should implies an obligation, and an obligation is about something which is not natural, like for effort, for example. Should I do this? An effort is needed. Because if it's natural, if it's something we do without any effort, without any thinking about it, and it's pleasing, we don't say should, we just do it. And happiness is something like that. We don't have to decide to look for happiness. It happens by itself. Now, what do I mean by this? Is that another word for happiness is satisfaction. Now, we do want to be satisfied, whatever we do, be it breathing, eating, relation, whatever. Naturally, we do want to be satisfied. We ask a should when there's something going against our satisfaction. So already, there's something natural about striving for happiness, right? Now, where can the question become a problem? Well, here, let's see about a child when he's growing up, yeah? So, of course, a little newborn, he just wants to be satisfied, whatever the need he has or the desire he has. He wants food, he wants comfort, he wants company, yeah? He wants the presence of his mother. Yeah, he wants to be satisfied. Now, what happens is as the child grows up in his education, he's going to have to learn that satisfaction is not always immediate, right? What is called delayed gratification. So we learn to create distance between our desires, the fact we want to be pleased, we want to be happy, we want to be satisfied, and the fact we have to wait, that maybe it will not happen right away. If I want to eat, well, maybe I have to wait until lunchtime. Now, if I'm a little baby, I cannot wait. I'm impatient. I scream, I yell, I cry. But if I'm a growing person, an adult, I can wait until lunchtime and take it on myself to be patient. Yeah, that's one way, is patience. Another way is that the satisfaction will take place if I accomplish certain things, certain tasks, certain challenge, certain work. That's the case, for example, when I want to get I want money. I want to earn money. I want statute. I want to be recognized. Well, it doesn't happen by itself. If I do nothing, I will get none of this. I will not get my satisfaction, my gratification. So I have to accept not only to wait, but to accomplish a certain work that I have to do in order to get this. And this work, this task, this challenge might not be immediately satisfying. It might be painful. It might be something going against even my own nature. I have to make sometimes a very big effort, yeah? And then the satisfaction, the gratification, the happiness will happen as a consequence of this, effort that I make on myself, of this work that I make on myself. So then, of course, the question, should a human being strive for happiness, then start making sense. In other words, do I want happiness as something immediate, something we'll get right away, and I cannot stand the pain of patience, compassion in Latin, suffering. I cannot stand it, or I'm not able to master myself to accomplish certain work in order to get satisfaction or happiness. That's where the issue is. And sometimes, indeed, we can wonder if the effort is worth the pain it provides. If what I'm going to get through this effort is worth it or not, right? As a general principle, not all efforts are worth exercising. Sometimes it's better to skip it, right? So then comes a second problem to say, what do we get through this effort, and does it actually make us happy? Because then there's an idea of getting some satisfaction, yeah. So then happiness can here take two different roads. One form of happiness is where you make effort because you're going to get something. For example, well, I want money, I get a job, maybe I don't like this job, it's a painful job, but I have to do it in order to get money, and with this money, I get satisfaction. That's what I call obligatory effort, obligatory work, and it's only the result. Now, this can be rather frustrating. We have to do it. Not everything is pleasant. We have to do it, but we have to be conscious that it's the result that we want, and not the action itself. And then there's a higher level of happiness where it's the process that we're interested in, the action itself, even though it might be difficult. For example, suppose I have to write. Writing is difficult for me, but I have to write. But the writing, even though it's difficult, can be pleasant. Now, for some people, it might never be pleasant. They will do it if they're going to get something out of it, right? Like to get a diploma in university, for example, and then it's terrible for them. But for some people, they will manage to get the pleasure out of the process of acting. The effort itself, even though it's painful, becomes interesting, becomes even pleasurable, right? Now here there's a difference between what Arendt, for example, the philosopher, distinguishes between production and creation. If it's production, I don't care about the action. I'll just suffer through it in order to get something. But if it's creation, and creation can be here taken in a very large way, where the action itself can provide some pleasure instead of the hardship, like even somebody doing exercise at the gym club, right? Even though it can be painful, hard on the muscles in this case, not so much on the mind, he can still get pleasure out of this hardship. So I would say that's the third level, and probably the highest level of happiness. It doesn't matter what is the process that we're involved in, but it makes us happy not only because we get pleasure out of it, but because we are growing, we are developing. And here I would like to propose the idea that challenge is a necessary condition for human happiness. That's the way it is. I think we cannot help it, but when you look at everything that's been written on happiness in religious, philosophical, whatever the context, there's always the idea that you have to be challenge your immediate way of being, your immediate impulses, your immediate pleasure as well, and you have to be able to go beyond yourself to reach some higher order way of being, right? Whatever this higher order way of being, be it, I don't know, connecting to God by being a better person, be it a creation, being physically challenging yourself. But we need challenge in order to be happy, right? So to summarize, let me propose the idea that happiness, the first most primitive degree of happiness is immediate satisfaction, like a little baby. Then the second degree of happiness is when you accomplish something, you make an effort in order to get something, and it's the result that makes you happy. And the third level, the highest level, is when the accomplishment itself, in spite of the difficulty, is actually what makes you happy. Because one of the reasons as well, because it's in harmony with yourself. It's not something where you impose externally something as an obligation. but it fits you. It fits your existence. It fits your way of being, right? Therefore, the question is not so much should a human being strive for happiness, but how to strive for happiness. And of course, if happiness is just immediate satisfaction, like we see in a consumer society, then indeed there's a problem in this striving for happiness, right? So happiness is a fine concept if we're not too obsessed with it and we are conscious that it has its own demands and it's not something that is provided immediately through some product, through some immediate gratification.